Go on.
In Real Life, which is a documentary by Beeben Kidron about the internet and the effect that the internet has had on the way in which we think and everything that we do. And the documentary starts with speaking to young people who are addicted to online porn by their own, that's how they describe themselves. It then follows the trail of the internet when you log on to these sites. Who actually keeps your data? What are they doing with their data? How do you find access to this stuff? Of course, it turns out that the internet, like everything else, is market driven. There are ways of, advertising and market forces being used to sort of manipulate people on the internet in a way in which they didn't know. Julian Assange pops up to do his usual thing about, governments all tracking all this information and then handing it over to whichever authority they feel like doing so. The thing that's I think important about the documentary is you could take it as being a sort of scared parent look at the internet, blimey, look, all this stuff is out there, what are your kids doing? The way Beeben Kidron gets around that very intelligently is that she speaks directly to those people. She does do very open interviews with young people and about the ways in which they interact with the internet. So it doesn't just become a sort of, a scare me off-a-thon. It is actually a film which is about a debate which I think everybody needs to be engaged with, which is how is the internet changing the way in which we interact with people, and more importantly, when you're sharing that kind of information and visiting places online, who's keeping it, who's storing it, how's it happening, and who is actually manipulating all this stuff. I don't think there's going to be anything in there that will be shockingly new. It's quite difficult watch at some point because some of its conclusions about the internet are pretty depressing, but not.
I was going to say, do you come out of it thinking, blimey, I better go home and make sure I've got all the parental controls on the computer?
Well, you certainly think that it's, as everyone has always said, walking across the information superhighway is like walking across a road. You wouldn't do that without looking both ways. And the fact of the matter is that it does make you think you need to, yes, but then I've always been like that anyway, because, because I'm from the paranoid generation. I mean, I always remember when we were in Manchester, we all used to think all the time, everyone's trying to track us down and get all our identities all the time.
Who's us at this point?
Oh, the big lefties in Manchester, what you referred to as the Stalinist contingent. We spent all our life attempting to avoid any form of detection. Nobody was detecting us. And then now everyone goes on Facebook and says, here's where I am, and this is what I'm doing.
Do you feel slightly disappointed that no one was trying to actually follow you
Of course we'd be disappointed. Everyone used to say, oh, yes, if you pick up the phone, you hear 3 clicks. That's a special branch listening in. No, that's just the exchange being a little bit mechanical.